Hey, this is Shaine with another podcast for National Podcast Post Month. This is 4.9, which is episode 8 on year number 4. So today we had social media club meeting at Amber Jackson McAllen. This is a really nice place, good restaurant, very nicely laid out and great menu. So one of the topics that came up today in our discussions during the social media club meeting was how the price of storage has gone down dramatically. Basically, like hard drive storage has gone down dramatically, and that has encouraged a lot of us to become digital pack rats. And so it becomes a real pain to kind of manage all this information, because if you basically, in order to make sure that you have your information available when you need it, you need to have backups of backups, and at least in several places, so that way, in case you lose one medium, you have backup somewhere else. So when you're talking about terabyte drives, and this becomes a real problem. And so what's happening is storage has become so cheap that we're making so much content, or at least not even content. A lot of times it's just stuff that we buy, like for example, you buy movies online, right, on iTunes, or you buy music. Music I can understand. You listen to music. But buying movies, just like buying DVDs, you can have a big library, but the fact is that you only watch those movies every once in a while, and you only watch them maybe once or twice, and then that's it. So you spent like $20 when you're only going to use it once or twice, and then it's gone. And what's going to end up happening is you're going to loan it out to somebody else, and then they're going to keep it. Well, you can't do that with digital stuff because of the DRM, but it's still costing you money. And so I was going with that one is even with that, a lot of stuff you don't really need. So when Apple TV came out with the idea of renting an episode, you can watch it for a couple days or whatever, and then it's going away. You're not owning the purchase. Then it made more sense to me, because what the hell are you going to do with an episode of whatever? You're just going to watch it once or twice, and then that's it. You're done. So for that reason, I like stuff like Hulu or Netflix, where you can pretty much pay a monthly fee and watch all you can, because I don't really want to store all these movies or episodes of shows or whatever. There's no point. The other thing, we really want to keep our home videos, photographs, and like in this case, maybe some audio, but even stuff like this, I'd rather just leave it to Cinch to do the backups and do the distribution and all that, because it's less management for me. But we're keeping all kinds of information. And this also came up to me recently, like during the day, before the discussion happened at Social Media Club, was because I was thinking about my storage on Evernote. I have a bunch of junk on Evernote, my favorite app, stuff that I don't necessarily need. It's nice to have, but what's happening now is that a lot of the keywords that I use to search for information turn up a lot of results. And so having had that, the storage, the ubiquitous and universal storage for everything, unlimited storage is not working out so well, because it's so difficult to find stuff as a result of there being so much junk in there that I don't need anymore. So I'm starting to think that information and files and stuff like that has to have an expiration date. It has to expire at some point, or go away at some point, so that you have to, my assistant here, so that way, it becomes less of a burden to manage all of this information, all this data. So I don't know. It just seems like we're encouraging people to become pack rats, digital pack rats, and I think we ought to probably turn away from that in some way and expect data to go away. I know that the idea is that once stuff goes on the internet, that it's basically you can never delete it. I think eventually stuff is going to have to start deleting, because I realize that there's a long tail of marketing. There's a long tail of marketing, but it's also creating a long tail of management, because you have to actively manage all this data and information. And so at some point we're going to reach a point where it becomes impractical to have content up forever and ever. Amen. But anyways, we'll see. Only time will tell, right? So that's my topic for today's NAPOD promo. Is thinking about think for yourself. What kind of information am I hoarding? Do I really need that information? I mean, do I need that file from my college year? And do I really still need that term paper or stuff like that? And start thinking about stuff that you can do without, and start deleting crap. You don't need to have it around. Because once you pass on, and what are other people going to do with it? I mean, unless you're world famous, which most of us, I think 99.9% of us aren't, who's going to care? I think journal entries are good, blog posts, photographs, stuff like that, keep those. But, stuff that is bookmarks for websites and stuff that you clicked and all that, I don't think it's going to be worth it in the long run to keep. It's cool for a while while you're doing research, but once your research is over, it's not worth keeping. Because, things move on and you can always Google stuff anyways later on and find it. So, I don't think there's any new original thoughts, so there's no point keeping old information that you're never going to use again. So, explore and think about where you can kind of get rid of some junk that you don't need anymore. And I'll do the same. So this is Shaine Mata for NAPOD Promo 4.9. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks for listening. Sorry, it's pathetic. Where's Jay? No. Twitter and Facebook? YouTube? Alright, and it's done. Another episode of NAPOD Promo in the can.